What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2004 movie Shrek 2. So in this movie, Shrek and Fiona are returning to the swamp after their honeymoon, and right after they get there, they get an invitation from Fiona's parents, King Harold and Queen Lily, to go visit them in the kingdom of Far, Far Away, and where they're going to have a ball and get the king's blessing. And Shrek doesn't want to do it because he's nervous about her parents finding out about him being an ogre and stuff, and Fiona really wants to do it because she misses her family and stuff, so they end up going. And when they get there, of course, her parents are shocked, and her dad's not happy about it because he had it set up that Prince Charming would rescue Fiona from the tower from the first movie and everything. And we find out that the fairy godmother who and him made a deal and stuff so that Prince Charming would rescue her because he's her son and everything. And since the deal didn't go right, fairy godmother is planning on breaking Shrek and Fiona up and getting her with Prince Charming by using a spell. This causes Shrek to question whether he's right for Fiona and stuff, and he ends up going to the fairy godmother to try to seek help, and ends up stealing a potion from her that it's called the Happily Ever After potion that turns him into a human and stuff. He thinks that maybe if he turns into a human, it'll make Fiona happy and it'll work and everything. And when he gets back to the kingdom and stuff as a human, he sees that Fiona is with Prince Charming, who is pretending to be Shrek and everything, and Shrek almost gives up on her and stuff, and then he finds out that they're just trying to trick her and everything until she drinks a certain potion later that night, and he wants to stop it and everything and get Fiona back, and he has to stop them and save the day and get his wife back. But that's pretty much the story of Shrek 2. This movie is a lot of fun. I really like this one quite a bit. It's not, to me, as good as the first one. I know a lot of people actually would say this is the best Shrek movie and stuff, and I can get it. It goes double down on the pop culture references and the jokes and everything, and it is really good and expands the world and stuff from the first one really well. It's a really well done sequel and everything, and it is one of the best animated sequels. I do stand by that with people on that. But the voice casts are all once again really great. You got Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz returning as Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey, and then you get new cast members in here. Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots, who was hired by King Harold to kill Shrek, and of course he doesn't do it because he's just a big old pussycat, and he ends up becoming friends with Shrek and Donkey and joins them on their quest to seek help from Fairy Godmother, and ends up helping them save Fiona and everything. And he's a really likable character, and Antonio Banderas does a really, really great job playing him. He's just absolutely perfect. He kind of brings that Zorro character and stuff into Puss in Boots, and he's just perfect in that role. John Cleese and Julie Andrews do the voices of King Harold and Queen Lily, and they're both really really good in this. I really like both of them quite a bit, and everything in this movie, especially John Cleese, he's really funny as King Harold and everything. Jennifer Saunders does the voice of Fairy Godmother, and she's really good, and she's a really good villain. Every time I watch this movie, especially in recent years, I actually kind of start liking her as the villain even more. I think she's a really good villain in this movie, and Rupert Everett is good as Prince Charming. I think all of the cast are just really great in here, and then you get other new characters that would have become bigger parts in the sequel, like Doris, the ugly stepsister, voiced by Larry King. Absolutely great character. I think that character actually has a fan base and stuff as well. I think Doris is a really likable character, though, and everything. She becomes even more likable in the next one. And you get all the fairy tale creatures back and stuff. The 3 blind mice, the 3 little pigs, Pinocchio, Gingy. You get all of them back and everything, and they're all really great in here and everything. They don't have a lot to do, but they have bigger roles in this movie than they did the first one, and they have a lot bigger roles in other stuff in this franchise, like the 3rd movie and the Christmas special and stuff like that. So it was cool getting to see all of them back in here, and they have some really funny moments, especially in the scene when they're rescuing Shrek, Donkey, and Puss when they were tied up in this dungeon and stuff, and Pinocchio is having to tell a lie, and they tell him to say he's wearing women's underwear, and his nose doesn't grow, and they ask him if he is, and it starts growing, and I think Puss in Boots is the one that says what kind, and Gingy says it's a thong, and they start arguing. It's just absolutely hilarious. One of the funniest moments in the movie. There are a lot of funny moments in this one, though, and everything, and there are tons and tons of pop culture references, especially in the 3rd act. Like the jailbreak scene, there's a Mission Impossible reference, and it has the theme music from that. And then when they go to the Muffin Man, they have references to Frankenstein, and then Mongo, the giant cookie or giant gingerbread man, is walking through the city and stuff, and he's like the 50-foot tall woman or whatever, or God, and everyone's running away from him and stuff. And when he first starts walking, there's like the little ripples in people's coffee and stuff because they're by a Starbucks and everything, and it's exactly like in Jurassic Park. And there's all kinds of other references in the 3rd act, and everything. That's just some of them, and within just those few scenes plus everything else in the end, it's really full of pop culture references, and there's still some that I'm still catching for the first time every time I rewatch it, but I absolutely enjoy this movie a lot, though, and the animation in here is really good. The animation on the humans especially, they really did a good job with that, because this movie has more humans than the first one did, and they upped their game on it to make sure it worked good, and it did. The animation and stuff in this holds up really well, and everything. Shrek, Donkey, and Fiona all pretty much look exactly the same and everything, but I mean, you can tell a little bit of difference between the years that these movies came out, but yeah, I really do enjoy this one quite a bit, and it took me. I didn't see this one as quickly as I had wanted to when it first came out. I saw it like 2 or 3 weeks after it was released. I wanted to see it really bad and was really hyped for it, and then my hype started dying down and stuff because it had been out a couple weeks, and I ended up seeing it the day after Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban came out, and I ended up seeing that movie the night before and everything, so I was so hyped and excited about how much I loved Prisoner of Azkaban that my hype for this one had just pretty much died and everything. And when I saw it, I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't. I didn't enjoy it near as much as I was excited for and everything at the time. And also, I think part of it was my grandma and I were planning on going to see this movie. We were talking about it and stuff a week before she died. We had watched the first trailer together on the internet and everything, and she died like a week after that, and it didn't really hit me that I wasn't ready to watch Shrek 2 when I went to see it and everything, and for a long time I didn't really enjoy this movie as much because of that first experience and stuff, but over the years this movie's really grown on me, and I really have come to appreciate it and absolutely love it. I think it's a really good sequel to Shrek, and also I think I was going to be disappointed with it no matter what, though, following the first Shrek. As much as I love that one, I think I was just way too hyped up for it, but I think that me just not being ready to see it played a huge factor in why I was disappointed the first time I saw it. But over the years I absolutely have grown to love this movie, and it is a really good one. And if you do say it's your favorite in the franchise, I can understand why. It is really good and everything. I just personally prefer the first one and everything, but yeah, so I'd say I'd give Shrek 2 an 8 out of 10. It's a really good sequel and everything, and I really enjoy this movie. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Shrek 2, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.